Welcome to another episode of DD on the Spot. As always, I'm your host, Ryan Johnson. Before we get into it with our guest here today, I'd like to remind everyone that if you enjoy this content, to please give a like and subscribe down below. I'd greatly appreciate it. We have Rosa Lilliu on the podcast. She's coming to us all the way from Germany. She's our second German guest, I think, that we've ever had on the show, so we're excited to have her on. She's a women's physique European champion from the GNBF Federation, and she's also a PNBA pro athlete. She's only 19 years old too, so it's really shocking to me that she's able to achieve that at such a young age. But most importantly, she's on to share her journey with us. Rosa, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
I appreciate that. Well, I normally ask about the weather, but I'm not going to do that right now because it is just horrible weather right here. I'm not even going to do the where I convert it from Fahrenheit to Celsius, but it is cold here and it's going to get even colder this weekend. So before we dive into that, Rosa, to start things off, why don't you just give us your backstory on what inspired and motivated you to get in shape and how that led to you becoming a bodybuilder?
Yeah, so my earliest sports direction was actually I was a member of a swimming team in my hometown. And I discovered the fitness and strength training throughout endurance training because I wanted to start also kickboxing, and it was like a coincidence that the kickboxing team of my hometown was located near a gym, and I just started kickboxing, and then I was curious about just the gym and all the people training there, and I was fascinated, and then it just all got yeah, it just interested me, and I was just fascinated how you can transform your body when you really put that much effort in it, and just become proud, I guess, because when you show the work that you put in your body, you just become proud of yourself, I guess, and show that also to others.
Had you ever heard of bodybuilding before, or was it something that you were just completely not in the knowledge of?
I guess I knew about strength training and also Arnold Schwarzenegger, like the bodybuilding era, but I didn't know that much detail about it. So no, it was like in general, but not specific.
How long did it take from you taking that first step in the gym to realizing hey, I might want to compete in a show?
Oh, that took long because I firstly started powerlifting actually. So with 14, I just wanted to have muscles, but I thought throughout powerlifting I would gain much more muscle mass, but I just I don't know, I didn't like really the training method of powerlifting because I like squatting, I like bench press, I like deadlift, but I really like to feel the muscles when I train, really the burn in the muscles. And in the powerlifting training split that my first trainer gave me, I just felt that I trained, but I was exhausted, but not that exhausted like after a leg workout, so that I really felt it in my legs, and that was kind of the feeling that I was searching for, and I didn't know that bodybuilding would give that to me. So firstly, I started powerlifting, and then after I guess 1 year, or what 1 year I would say, I just heard about hypertrophy, so like more reps, and then I wanted to just try it out, and I asked the owner of my gym because he was like a bodybuilder himself, so he did competitions, but years ago, but he had the deep knowledge, but really old school. But I mean, it worked perfectly. So, and then I just asked hey, would you just prepare myself for a competition? And he was like, train and then we see, train and do the diet, because many people say like you want to do a competition, but they don't put the effort in dieting and training. And I was like, I really want that. I really want that. And yeah, I had to just show him that I wanted it that much. And after half a year, I guess, he said, okay, now we take things seriously. Now we prepare as for the competition that was like a year after we started preparation. So, I mean, we didn't start diet, but we started like how bodybuilding goes. So I didn't know anything. I didn't know like that I have to weigh the food. I was shocked. I was like, why do I have to weigh the food? I didn't understand that, and yeah, now it's just routine. Yeah, crazy.
So I take it that you're really into the mind to muscle connection then, because you said you really like to feel it in your structure. So you incorporate a lot of mind to muscle training.
Yeah, yeah, that's so important. I mean, you can just run through your training and do not feel anything. And especially, I really underestimated that in the beginning. I thought just put on the plates, just do heavy weights, but I didn't feel anything. And you have to really just do the technique, do the proper technique, and then we can add plates, and then you become stronger. But not the other way around.
I am so glad that you said that because so many people go the opposite way. And yeah, they
Yeah,
just think I just want to lift as much as possible. And then they don't understand that the technique is really what results in most of the gains that you make. But I always love to talk genetics on this podcast because everyone's built differently and I can train just as hard as someone else and I'm not going to see the results that they have. But everyone always has that one body part that really, really takes off that they don't have to train as much when they get started. And then everyone always has that one body part that just drags behind that they have to train into oblivion when they get started. What's been one body part that you've just never really had to worry about because it's always just been there? And what's been one body part that you've just had to train to overdrive?
so to overdrive, definitely my legs, definitely, and now as well. They are really. I put so much effort in leg training, and also during my diet. It was like the absolute focus, and it is also the training part that I hate the most. Really, honestly, I hate legs, and yeah, when people say they love training legs, I'm like, wow, I really appreciate it, but I cannot understand that because I hate leg training, but it's also the like it's a hate and a love thing, I guess, because when you see tiny results, you are like, wow, it had that much effort that we see now little results, but that was from the beginning on and now also because I'm really tall and everyone in my family is also built like a runner, I guess. Runners like with small muscles and long muscles, and like when I guess my just like my body is built, I'm more built like a endurance trainer, I would say. And I really have to eat also really much to gain muscle mass. Um, but the best part of my body to grow, I guess, it is my back, especially when I started including pull-ups because I really, really wanted to learn one pull-up. I really started from zero, really zero. I needed to just yeah, I just was impressed from the woman from man that could do easy just like 20 pull-ups with weight or without weight. I was impressed as well. But yeah, and then I started it and I started from zero and then it took me, I guess, really, really long. 2 5 reps, I guess half of a year, really. And I did it 5 times a week or 6 times a week, and now they're getting better and it's getting more easier. But I definitely have to admit that pull-ups is one of the exercises that you need to include in your daily training to see results. Because when you just um, do it like 1 time in 2 weeks, you will not see any results. Yeah, and I would say it's back, I guess.
How tall are you?
176 meters.
Oh wow, so that's like 5'10".
Yeah, I don't know how you measured that in America, like with the inches
Yeah,
or
that's pretty damn tall. Yeah, that's like 5'10". Yeah, so
yeah.
that's fairly tall. I'm 6'3" myself, so anytime I talk to another tall person, I love it because lower body was also the thing for me that really just struggled where I could just train it into oblivion, and it's gonna be a lot harder for me to, see any changes. And I've been looking at some of your photos and like you get super lean. Like when you were getting ready for a show, like you got incredibly lean. What was that like to see your body go through that? And what was that like just to look in the mirror and see yourself at that lean?
It's I don't know. I guess you in the beginning it was very, I guess, shocking. I didn't expect that I got that lean, and also we measured my body fat. It was like in my first season 6%, and in my um second season now. I mean, you can this measuring is just like it can also be like 1% above or 1% under. It's not that exact, but now we also measured it, and it was like or no 4.2%, 4.2. Yeah, yeah. And I was also shocked, but the thing is you get used to this, and you also get used to seeing veins on your arms and on your abs. And when you lose this in the off season, it's like ugh, it's really hard and it's really tough because you have to let go of this, and that is something I really struggle now as well. Because I mean, yeah, I did 2 seasons, but I'm really a beginner. So I really have to admit that I need to learn so much more skills, especially on my regeneration, and yeah, my mind, I guess, that I really am focusing on staying lean as long as I can, but it does not make me better, you know? It doesn't make me better. I mean, in diet, okay, but not in off season.
No, absolutely. And you touched on it briefly. I mean, the mental game of this sport is so much more than any of the physical game, and just the mental changes that you make alone outweigh so many of the physical changes. And most people that know you won't recognize that just because they'll just notice the physical changes and say like, "Oh my God, Rosa, you look amazing," but they don't understand the mental changes happen as well. What has this journey been like for you mentally?
Yeah, it's tough, I guess. You really learn much about yourself, and also how you handle stress and how you handle your energy. I mean, in especially this diet, my first diet, we only did 2 competitions, and now we did 5. It was really a long time that you're just keeping this low body fat and keeping your diet this hard. Um, so that was a really tough time for me, but I also have to admit that as long um so long as a diet goes, you get used to this. You get used to this numbness or this feeling of not feeling anything and just feeling weak. And yeah, I'm kind of that weird person that um after 2 months, 3 months of dieting, you just begin to like that. You like that you are, yeah, that you don't have that much energy, but that your body is really um, just like a mosaic. Uh, yeah, and now in off season, people are like, yeah, now you have to smile, and now you have food to eat. Now you have energy, but I really have to admit that, um, like, it is not. The body doesn't function like this. Like one day out from diet, you do not have the energy back, and your body is also needs to recover. And the people are like, when is your next show? When is your next show?
So when you just tell them it's tomorrow, just get ready for it. But yeah, it's ridiculous how people don't understand how long it takes the body to recover, especially when you're that dieted down. But what was your friends and family's reaction like when you announced to them, "Hey, I want to give bodybuilding a try"? And has it changed as you've evolved over time?
So I guess firstly, my parents thought it was just a, yeah, just a time, um, just a short time that I'm just trying this out, and then it's over. It's just like an experiment for me. So they were not that happy, I guess, especially when they saw like the supplements and all that stuff. And also as well because I mean, especially in bodybuilding, the consume of steroids is, yeah, pretty popular, or just that's famous for bodybuilding, and that's why they weren't really, yeah, happy about that. But when they saw that I really take it seriously and that I do not let anyone change my mind. Doesn't matter what anyone will say that I shouldn't do it. Or many people also told me that I do not have the genetics for it, and I was like, yeah, I hated that because it's like an excuse when you say you don't have the genetics for it. I mean, there are people that do not have the perfect genetics for bodybuilding, and I guess I am myself do not have the perfect genetics for bodybuilding, but that cannot be the excuse for not doing anything, or for not pursuing any sport, because I from the beginning on I was like, uh when someone is talented but do not put in the effort to gain something, it isn't worth anything. But if someone isn't talented enough, and I was like, I also started at gymnastics, for example, but with 17 and not with 5 or 4 or 3, I know that I am really not talented in gymnastics,
Well, I was gonna say
but
you're too tall anyways for gymnastics.
I really wanted to learn the handstand, and then you just put the effort in it. I also wanted to learn the split, for example, and then you just do it. You just try it every day. And for me, like, that is so much more worth it
No,
than just talent. And yeah,
no, absolutely. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more on that. And just let's be honest, you're not the average looking woman. If you were to walk down the street, especially like with like sleeveless and everything like that, you are going to draw people's attention just because when they see something that's not of the normal, they'll just be like, "Wow, that's fascinating." Especially as you got ready for a show when you were at 4% body fat, like you're going to draw people's attention just when you're out in public. What was
yeah.
that like? Because you become like a mini celebrity, and have you adjusted to that, or is it still one of those things where when you get people staring at you, you're like, "Okay, this is still kind of weird."
I guess sometimes it's weird, but to be honest, I just remember the days when I was in school, when I had really totally in the beginning, I had my food with me, and many of my like friends, or not friends, but people that were in my class, just made fun of me. And I was like the alien or like the stranger. And now they are like, wow. And I'm like, some people are really, yeah, especially from my class, are kind of a bit artificial or just fake, because I yeah, I do not understand that, how you can treat people from when they do not have the effort, do not have the success yet, um just being like, oh, you are weird. But then 1 year later, when you see that this awkwardness just, yeah, brings results and it works, then they are like, oh wow.
Yeah.
But when I see people like on the street, or also in the gym, they are really, yeah, just appreciating it, and are really kind to me now. So it is, yeah, and that is definitely one thing that I love about it. That also, that I have so much people also in my gym that support me and are interested in my journey. That's also really, yeah, it's just super for me to see.
I mean, that means the world to so many people, just having that amount of people that just appreciate what you're doing and just push you through it. But we got to talk about posing, because that's one of the hardest things that I would have never understood until I started this podcast. No one really talks about how hard posing is. What has your experience with posing been like?
Um, so I learned posing from my coach. She trained with me posing, and I also watched many videos of like women's physique pro athletes that were on the Olympia, and that just, yeah, improved my posing. And I also filmed myself from the beginning on, to music, and I just did it like 10 minutes a day in the beginning. And I guess I had much more fun in the beginning than now, because in the beginning it was like, wow, I feel good, and now I can see my muscles. And when you just get more serious in bodybuilding, you are like, oh, that is my weak part, that is my weak part, that is my weak part. And especially now after dieting, you are like, do I have to pose at all? Because I don't want to see myself. Like, when you just, yeah, are not that lean. In diet, it's like you're standing there in gym and posing, and you're like, okay, it looks good, I guess. But yeah, I also train it alone, because I do not, as well in diet, I do not want to just, I'm not like a poser that is in gym just putting their shirt off when everyone's around them.
Plus,
And
you're German too. You're a little more reserved as well.
I guess. And then yeah, I just wanted to do it on my own and just go through my posing routine myself. So I also prepared my like it's a personal posing routine that I did in Las Vegas, with like a choreography to music. Um, I prepared it really long, for also, I guess, a year. And yeah, that was really, yeah, it was kind of another level, because you stand on the stage alone and you have the music and all eyes on you. And when you are like with your congruency, then you just have the poses, and then you stand there with 6, 7 females, and it's another level, I guess.
And out of the poses that you do, what is your favorite pose and what is your least favorite pose?
So my favorite pose, I would say, is front double biceps. That's because of, I don't know, I guess Arnold Schwarzenegger, because it's just the representation of bodybuilding. The front double biceps is just bodybuilding, I guess. And my least favorites, I would say, because they are the most unspectacular, I guess, they are the like the quarter turns in figure. They are, yeah, I don't know. They are not that special
I
for
don't
me.
even know why they're a thing, honestly. It's like, what purpose? I mean, you can just do other poses that really show off that stuff as well. I don't even get why they're a thing, to be completely,
Yeah,
honest myself. But and when you're stepping on that stage, what is that feeling like for you, knowing that you've worked so hard on this package and you're finally able to show it off?
yeah, it's, I guess, undescribable. I get, because you have put that much effort in something and just show it for a tiny, yeah, amount of time. I guess there are only a few minutes, but it's definitely worth it. It's really worth it. And I knew that when I stepped on stage the first time, when I saw the lights, and the lights were so bright that I couldn't see any face. And I knew that this is the thing I, yeah, was searching for my life, I guess.
I think honestly the lights are a good thing because you can't see anyone in the crowd, so that helps with your anxiety. Like you're not going to be like nervous in front of people because if you can't see them, then it's like they're not even there. So yeah, I would assume that. But I mean, you won the physique champion, the European physique championship of the GNBF. What was that moment like for you when they called your name and you realized, oh my god, I won this?
I was like, really? Because I was there with my dad in backstage, and I was just getting warmed up, and I had tears in my eyes because right by my side, next to me, um, there was a female competitor that looked so great and so like she was the most massive female in our class. And I was like, um, the invitation to Las Vegas is over for me because she will win it definitely. And I really had tears in my eyes. And my father was like, no, you got this, you got this. And I was like, thank you, Dad, but you know, you see it. I was really small in comparison to her. But the problem was that she had that physique, and when I had been the judge, I would give her the, yeah, give her the first place. But she was so shy, and she did not show the body, or that great body, that way that she could do it. You know, she wasn't sure about the poses and so on. And I guess that I didn't have the amount of muscle mass, but maybe it was like my appearance, and that I was self confident and that I showed my poses, and that had maybe, yeah, make the change for me, I guess, that I,
I've always said that posing outweighs muscle anytime, especially in the and that's more proof to it too. We're like, yeah, you can have the best body in the world, but if you don't know how to pose it, good luck.
yeah, that's really true. And so I was really shocked. I did not expect it at all. And when I stood in the yeah, like in the final row, so we had 3 places left. I was like in my head, please God, I only want to gain 3, 2, or 1, because that are the invitations to Las Vegas. And when, yeah, I did not know in the beginning that the first place is qualified for, yeah, for the pros in Las Vegas, and the other places are qualified for amateurs. And when I stood in the final row, I was like, thank you, thank you. Now what happens? It doesn't matter because I'm in Las Vegas. That was my highest aim. and everything else, it doesn't matter for me. But then it was really that fast and just shocking. And when I saw my dad was like, he knew it. But yeah.
Well, what was your experience like in Las Vegas? I've never been there myself. I've always wanted to go there, but what was your time like there?
So Las Vegas was really a high of feelings, I guess. Um, Firstly, it was my first time in America, and I absolutely loved it. Really, I was so, yeah, just I love the people. I love how open they
They're
are.
a little bit more friendly than Germans, I take it.
Yeah. Germans are really like I don't know. I remember one time one
I would describe them as like, unless it's their business, they really don't care and they will ignore you.
yeah, it's
As long as
some
it doesn't bother me, I'm not doing anything. Like, you basically would go up to, you would have to like go up and like punch them for them to even like react or like do anything, do anything to you. Yeah.
like introverted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm mainly
And,
Norwegian, so I understand that more than most people.
yeah. So I mean I do not like generalizations or prejudices or you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. But um, all in all, I guess most of the Germans are that way. Yeah.
I will say some prejudice can be true, but mainly the most of them aren't. But sometimes the nail just
Yeah.
happens to hit it right on the hammer. But and I will say with German, but since we're saying a bad trait about the Germans, I'll say a good trait about the Germans. They are very, very punctual. Dear God, I've never met a German that was never on time. There was never not on time, and just that's a good trait to have. Everyone, that's a trait that I think everyone should have. Honestly.
Yeah. But I remember one time when I was in Atlanta because I flew from Munich to Atlanta to Las Vegas, and one female stewardess said, "Hello, beautiful people," and I was like, "Wow, you are so nice." In Germany, everyone would look like, "What's you're saying?"
I've always wanted to go over there and just act like I normally do and just see how crazy people would look at me and just be like, this guy needs to be locked up in an asylum somewhere. He's going up to people and saying hi. What is wrong with this guy?
Yeah, that's like Germany. But so first of all, it was like, as I said, first time in America, and second, it was the best experience to do it on my own. So I flew there on my own, and I stayed there in a Airbnb with other German athletes of the TMBF team, and yeah, it was in the beginning, you know, when I was um at home, I really was depressed or yeah, kind of sad that no one of my family or friends would fly with me. And I really cried as well because yeah, I just felt a little bit too yeah, too young or I just had fear.
Even I was thinking traveling alone at 19 all the way across the world. That's a risky thing to do, but hey, props to you for doing it. It's a courageous thing to do.
And when I came back, I thought it was the best decision that no one came with me because you are so much more open to people when you travel alone. Um, you learn so much new friends or people or contacts in general. And yeah, for my family, it was too spontaneous. My father couldn't do it from his job, and my mother is kind of the person that wants to plan everything in detail and was like,
A
okay,
German planning, never met that one before.
yeah. And yeah, then in Las Vegas in the Airbnb, it was super for me because I just had other German athletes that also competed there. I had someone who yeah, that I could talk to, and but it was really like in the beginning it was kind of weird because we had one kitchen and everyone, before the competition, everyone was planning his food, and it was like, kind, yeah, it was strange to see so many people act like yourself, you know? That was really strange because here you, in your family, you are the one that is strange, but then when you are in a crowd and everyone is just weighing their food, you're like, okay, cool. Yeah.
Did you get the chance to go to an American gym and see just a little bit how American gyms might be a little bit more different than German gyms?
No, honestly not, because I really could just stay for 1 week because I really worked whole time also during school and also after my A level. Um, but it was really pricey.
Oh yeah, it's incredibly expensive.
Really
That's
pricey.
yeah, like, and you'd think since you're a pro athlete, they would at least chip in a little bit for it, but
Yeah,
that's their own
and
thing.
also I thought that as well. I mean, like the flight was the cheapest thing.
Yeah.
The flight was like 800 euros to Las Vegas and back.
Okay, that's pretty cheap. That's like it really. I mean, that's I might have tickets to go to New York and there and back, and it might be as expensive. So you got a really good deal on that, at least.
Uh, and it was like a good airline. It was with Lufthansa
Oh, yep.
and then with, I don't know, Virgin or kind of that. But just like the registration fees, they were so high. I didn't expect that at all, that it would be that high. And also the food in Las Vegas, wow.
The
I was,
proportions too.
yeah, crazy, really crazy. And also, like, it was for me a complete change because in Germany you can drink the water from like, yeah, from the
Anywhere.
bath,
Yeah, yeah.
from anywhere, from the kitchen. And in Las Vegas we had to buy that, and from the supermarket, and that was also pricey. And I didn't expect that. But in the airport we had like, yeah, they you could fill up your bottles for free. So that's really cool because in Germany we do not have that at all. I mean, logical, but um, yeah, and that is why I just could stay for 1 week, and especially before you go on stage. Many people also think you just train crazy the days before, but that's not the case. You skip your leg day 1 week before your competition, that you just do not have that much water in your legs, and then you really do like slow training. So I trained outside. We had a yeah, kind of a little garden, and then I did pull-ups, push-ups, and a few bodyweight exercises, and I also had like kind of resisting bands with myself, and also these
God,
bands.
I thought you were veiny enough, and that you're doing those resistant bands. Good God, you probably looked like you were about to pop.
It's like these resisting bands, I really underestimated this also in the beginning of my whole training journey, how tough they are. I thought like, oh no, that's kind of the baby thing. But when you try it, you're like,
All I'll
and they,
say is don't ever break one on you because they hurt like hell if
yeah,
they break on you, and I've had that happen to me.
yeah, and you also get to, yeah, just feel the muscles in a total um
Oh, that's the best mind to muscle connection you'll ever feel is doing resistance bands.
a complete other way than with like barbells, dumbbells, or machines. That's super. It's really super. Yeah, and then the competition in Las Vegas, it was it just went everything so fast. Friday was like, no, Thursday was registration, Friday was amateurs, Saturday was pros, um, and yeah, I was just happy to be there in my team and have to just we drove there with um, Uber, Uber and taxis, and I didn't see that much of Las Vegas, but the whole competition was great enough, I guess. It was, yeah, kind of amazing.
Yeah, Las Vegas is basically a country all of its own. I mean, it's just an exotic place. But if someone were to also walk up to you and say, Rosa, we made the decision, you can change one thing about the sport of bodybuilding, and everyone would go along with it, what would be one thing that you'd like to see change? And honestly, you can do more than one if you have more than one.
Okay, so the only thing that I would change is definitely how the sports is judged, because um, sometimes, especially in female bodybuilding. So I mean, I can only tell my view about female bodybuilding. But in female bodybuilding, they are many judges judge in a subjective way. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I heard from one competitor, for example, that I knew from my hometown gym. She told me she was placed, I guess, third, and the judge came to her and told her, "Yeah, if you would have blonde hair, and if you would have like um, a wider like boobs, then you would have got the first place." And that is not the sport at all for me.
Yeah,
You
that is
know,
absolutely ridiculous.
that does not have anything to do with how much you train, how strict you do your diet. So
I mean, I
I
don't know. If you curl enough, you might be able to change your hair color just naturally through that way. Maybe.
and I was like, yeah, that's like the thing that I would really like to change, because that is not an objective way. And I guess in comparison to other sports categories, for example, like track and field or kind of that stuff, you really have the times, and you have like the meters or kind of the height or something, and then okay, that's the first place because he was the fastest. And in bodybuilding, it's tricky, and that is,
Yeah,
yeah.
no one's ever told a basketball player or a football player, hey, if you had a different hair color, you know what? You would really make it. Yeah, that's,
That's
yeah.
ridiculous, and especially also the makeup. I mean, yeah, that's like the appearance that you have, but much more important is how you pose, how you appear on stage.
Yep.
What's your muscle definition? What is your, yeah, muscle amount in general? That are like the key factors for bodybuilding. Everything else, then I can do modeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
That's
really
ridiculous.
modeling. So
Yep.
yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more. And what are your goals for this year? Where do you when we do talk to you next year, because I'd love to have you on again in a year, where would you like to be at in your journey? What are some goals that you'd like to achieve this year?
So this year, to be honest, I just want to focus on my off season. I just want to focus on my, yeah, just gaining muscle mass, really gaining muscle mass, and coming um away from that mindset to stay lean as long as I can. Because I really think that I have to work as well on my mindset, that I um work, yeah, more towards muscle gaining and not staying in diet, you know. And therefore, I just want to improve my training. And yeah, I mean, diet is like, okay, just having more food to eat. And I just listen to my coach, so she will tell me how we change eating, how we change diet. But yeah, I mean, food is just executing, and training is just adapting and just making some changes. Seeing, especially with legs, maybe doing a bit of less reps because I did really 20 to 25. Yeah, because my first coach told me, yeah, you have to just work much more on your legs and burn them out,
Yeah.
but they didn't grow. And I was like, okay, they are lean, but they are not big, super. And I mean, for diet, okay, but as I said before, for off season, not. And that is kind of that I want to change, and then just growing, especially, for women's physique or women's bodybuilding. I mean, my dream is to become really good in women's physique or one day in women's bodybuilding, and therefore it is so essential to just take off the time.
I was gonna say, with your height, you're gonna need to put on a ton of size.
I know. And therefore I cannot compete every year after year. That is not the way bodybuilding functions. But people think um, the amount of, yeah, or how much you are standing on stage, you are the best. But that's not the case. I mean, when I stepped on stage last year, and maybe in 2 3 years again, then I will do have a complete other physique than I would have when I start this year and next year and the year after.
Yeah. 1,000,000%. And I mean, guys, go and check out Rosa's Instagram page. I'll make sure to leave a link down below for you to check out. You will get inspired and motivated when you realize that she's only 19 and she does look like that, especially in her preps and even in her off season as well. I mean, it's just incredible to see how much you've achieved at such a young age. And again, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your journey with us. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you also as much as I can.
Oh, absolutely. I appreciate that. And again, everyone, go and check her out. And this is Ryan Johnson, DD on the spot, signing off. Have a great day, everyone.